Hello one and all, and welcome to Friday Night Warno. So, as I say, this is SDLeague's event, and SDLeague do have a Eugen dev over on their channel, so I highly recommend checking them out as well. I am just going to maneuver things around so I can watch their stream on my other screen as well. And also see my chat at the same time. Apologies, someone's beeping the horn outside. There we go. Now I can see chat, I can see what's happening on the other stream. So, we will obviously be joining SDLeague later, as this is their event, and it's all about them really. But we're just piggybacking off that and going to do a cast of one of the other games that's going on currently. I'm sure Protoss will be checking in with them at some point. Again, apologies for the noise outside. I have the windows up to let a bit of fresh air in and keep the room cool. But people suddenly decided to start being noisy when I started the live stream. Such is life. Such is life. I hope everyone is well this Friday night. So, the game we are in is Foxy, Zubos versus Karma and Selected. Foxy is playing as the 79th tank, and they're in blue at this side, and Zubos is playing as the new KDA effort. And on the other side we have Karma playing as the 79th and Selected playing as the 39th. Obviously this is Vertigo, a map we are now fairly familiar with. Looking currently like there are more units up here for Foxy and Zubos. Probably more of an equal spread to some extent for Karma. Hard to say otherwise. I just realised I usually have this map this way around. That's why it looks weird to me. But we should be pretty familiar with this map these days. Markers down for enemy spotted. Karma obviously top of the ladder still, I believe, in game. An extremely good player. And this is all for fun tonight. So I don't know how seriously he'll be taking it. I don't know if he'll be going for a full-on smash everyone in my path, or trying to just take it a bit more at a slower pace. Selected mainly down here, along with some Karma units. Up at the top, mainly Karma, forming a defensive position there. So it looks like the fight, as usual, is going to end up being over Alpha more than anything else. But at the moment, Zubos in a very strong position here, and Foxy bringing in a few units as well. So this should be quite interesting. Selected getting some recon around the back there, and I can see Foxy doing the same here. Obviously Karma's got quite a few units dotted around in there as well. As I say, while I am here streaming, I will just remind everyone that Eugen Dev Damned is playing over with Protoss on the SDLeague channel, so I highly recommend hopping over there and joining in with that as well. You don't have to stay here if you'd rather listen to the Eugen devs play the game, or slash a Eugen dev. So, a couple of choppers on the field, not a huge amount of AA on either side at the moment really. See some AA coming in there. There's a couple of manpads, some Iglas down here. Quite far back though. Enemy spotted marker from Foxy. Obviously, marker's being used by Foxy and Zubos quite a bit at the moment. Just another way for them to communicate in-game, I suppose. SC-25 rocket in, taking shots from the book there. Vedka facing off against some Motorstrocky. Quite pushy here from Foxy and Zubos actually. This zone's looking quite blue. I mean, there's red here, but I don't know. I feel like blue outweigh them here. Here, the reds of Karma seem very spread out. It's honestly been a while since I've casted a Karma game. I know he still plays regularly, but he hasn't been in the tournament so much. Seed coming in there to try and take out that book. Will get it shot off. Is taking fire from the book though. Book is dead. Karma will be pleased with... Oh, Karma lost it though. Was that a Tunguska did the job there, or this guy coming in? MiG-31's in there as well. Plenty of aircraft being used by both teams. I understand this Tunguska is pretty good in the latest patch. I haven't actually tried one. Obviously, 79th being played a lot more these days. Has become a lot more viable in the recent patches. Marker for the enemy from Foxy again. Eagle is being brought up there, though, to deal with these spy choppers. What's going on down here now? I mean, I've got to give it to Zubos down here. I mean, there's some stuff from Foxy as well, but Zubos keeping the pressure up massively on Selected in these buildings. Obviously, all of these guns and tanks and things providing a lot of fire support against these Metis. Look at the amount of fire coming in against them. I mean, they're in buildings, so they're quite well defended, but even so, that's a lot of fire. I'm surprised they aren't taking more damage. Pulling them out. Lots of troops here as well, preparing potentially for a push down this way. And loads of Iglas at the back. Lots of jets being shot down left, right and centre, I will say that much. Both teams with now a much more significant air defence than at the start of the game. Selected and Karma mainly relying on Manpad Igla teams, though. They're not bad. I think people do still underestimate them a little bit at times. But we're looking good so far. Oh, there's the Buratino. It's pretty effective as far as artillery pieces go in the game right now. So we'll be causing lots of panic, lots of damage, especially for these Igla squads. You can see them being pulled out of the buildings there. Did they all survive or did he lose some? I'm not sure. It's hard to tell when they first come out of a building because they're all kind of stood on top of each other. No, they all survived, just with significant damage. He will be wanting to bring in some supply to rearm all of those. But Zubos getting a push on here. And interestingly, Foxy and Zubos, obviously, the advantage here, +2 points. Slowly ticking up. It's difficult for me because I sort of watch this and in my brain I just imagine that Karma has already won this game. He stormed through, destroyed everything in the first few minutes. But actually these guys are putting up a hell of a fight against Karma and Selected. Obviously Karma is spending most of his time down here, I think, with Selected. I'm just looking for his units, to be honest. Selected mainly in the middle there. This is all Selected as well. Karma doesn't have a lot up here. This is all Selected too. Karma bringing in a couple of tanks there. Maybe Karma spent a lot on his Air Force. There was definitely some stuff down here from Karma originally, but maybe it was killed and it's now mostly Selected handling this point. But I'm kind of surprised by a lack of a Karma push or more units. This is a mystery to me. Command coming in there to get neutralization at this point. Karma bringing in more forces towards the top. This is very interesting. Look at all of these small Suchin, KDA Suchin coming in there. Loads of the little tanks. They're recon tanks, basically. This is quite an interesting game. It's sort of not what I expected from Karma, to be honest. But this is all Selected stuff. But Zubos doing a fantastic job at pushing down here. I mean, he's still holding all this area and has sort of managed to dislodge Selected from all of these buildings. And up here at the top, obviously Foxy putting up a bit of a fight. Needs to be careful with his command sort of flittering at the back there. This is obviously very much neutralized. Some tanks coming in. He should have the upper hand, should Karma, because he's got T-80s against T-62s, but there's obviously Metis up there. This is quite interesting. It's not what I expected. At all. 30 minutes to go in this game. It's obviously a 40-minute game, as usual, for the tournament games, the same as ranked. Still +2 to Foxy and Zubos. There is a command was just coming in the corner there, taking fire and is dead. That was unfortunate positioning, or selected missing where it was coming in at. Really, he wanted it to come in down here, I suppose. He has called in another one down there, so it doesn't go straight into the point. He's going to be upset about that. And still, he's getting pushed back further here. Look at all of this fire coming out of the infantry. Jeez. Wow. I mean, all I can do is commend Zubos, and Foxy's got a few units down here as well. The amount of fire at anything that steps out of that tree line. Wow. All these little recon tanks coming in as well. More T-62s, T-55s. The amount of firepower that can be laid down from this tree line is just obscene. The question is, with all of this firepower, can Zubos actually push? I mean, right now he doesn't need to. He's +2. They are +2, so they have the advantage. Can they maintain that advantage? Look at the top. While we're busy down there, Karma is making a push with not a lot of units, let's be honest, but he's relying on the T-80U and the T-80BV to provide the firepower to get him forward. There isn't a lot of firepower here. Foxy's bringing in Motostrelki Metis now, but are they going to be too little too late? These tanks are rolling forward and Motostrelki coming in BMPs as well. Igla pushing across as well. Just one guy left in that squad. Obviously to reduce the risk of choppers being brought in. Here's some jets on the field as well. The SU-25 rocket is taken out by the MiG-31Ms at that side. Those MiG-31s pulling out at Karma's side. So Karma's pushing here. We've still got this aggressive maneuver down here from Foxy and Zubos pushing together. There's obviously choppers in there as well providing some fire support. We've got a move here now from Selected. He's moving all his tanks and BMP3s and stuff forward in a rather aggressive defensive posture. Up here, Karma has made some headway. He has now control of this point. He has killed the enemy command. Those metas pushing up, but they're going to be up against other Motostrelki, and they're going to be up against the BMP3 and the 3 tanks now. There are 2 T-80BVs there and the T-80U. BMP-1 will not survive long, and it's already dead. Choppers in now. Rocket choppers will be taking out those infantry at the front. Lucky if they get some stuns on the tanks as well. T-80BV coming in for Foxy. And down here, we do still have that command now in position. Obviously that was brought in the second command. The first one had been killed on its way in. Selected bringing in more stuff now to try and hold this corner. But progression being made by Zubos, units being pushed forward here. All of those units that were brought in kind of moving back and forth. Look at the fire coming in and out of this point. Look at all of that. There goes the Buratino again at these buildings and firing across into this forest. It's absolutely going to mince a lot of this infantry. Look at the deaths. Wow. All that fire coming in, plus this thing firing. Advantage definitely. Oh, wow. And a beautiful cluster strike there from Zubos. I didn't even see it come in. Took out the command there. +2 to Karma. And now back to neutralized since they no longer control that point and have a command in here. Wow. Still firmly ahead at 781 points for Foxy and Zubos. There's 25 rocket, another one coming in there for Karma. Engaging these infantry. Another infantry command coming in here to try and swing it back to +2 for Foxy and Zubos. This has been an expensive push here. I mean, a lot of stuff moved forward and very little is being pulled back to defensive positions. I mean, don't get me wrong, Selected has lost quite a bit of his defensive force, but equally, a lot of that attacking force from Zubos and Foxy has been killed. There's a big thinning out of units in this point. Up at the top, Karma obviously was in a very good position, did a fantastic job of pushing Foxy out of this point, but has now been forced back. Those tanks returned to these positions back here to repair and rearm. Not a huge amount here still. There are 2 T-80BVs though now from Foxy, along with a couple of smaller tanks from Zubos. 2 Conkers from Karma though will be providing some heavy defense against tanks here. It's all about what pressure that Karma can keep on this corner of the point now, and that's where the big fight is going to be. It's going to be a fight for this corner because obviously Foxy needs that corner to keep a command in. Currently +2, because still in control of this point and neutralizing the top one. Again, pushing that lead that they already have. Now, realistically, this game is probably already over because I think I joined in when they were about halfway through. I won't speed up. Let's enjoy the game because this is a heck of a battle between these two sides. Oh dear, selected with 2 T-80BVs caught out of position. 3 T-80BVs, sorry. Did they take any shots? Wow. They haven't actually taken any damage from all of those missiles that came in. They all missed. How lucky is selected. This again is, I think, a point of he called them into the point and they've come the top way when really he wanted them to come down this road here. Bertino firing again. Oh, he had preemptively called those in to fire at the T-80s, I think, but obviously T-80s had already moved. Bit of a waste of a reload of a Bertino that I would have just called it in on the town again, or the forest here. But, you know, they're doing so well, you can't really fault them for something like that. Karma up here trying to keep the pressure on. All these tanks have been pushed forward. Looking a little bit thin on the ground. I think at least 1 T-80 is being killed at this side. No, 2 T-80s are still there. Oh, no, 1 has definitely been killed now. He's lost a few T-62s, I think. And there's some T-55s back here that will not last long against all this fire. I do feel like Karma's throwing a little bit of lambs to the slaughter here. He keeps sending in individual units. I assume he's trying to spot the enemy commander. Down at the bottom point, a bit of a rebuild of forces, I think, for Zubos. And Selected obviously bringing in a lot. Look at all these tanks and things back here. I assume this is going to be a, if Zubos pushes, then Selected will move all of this in to fend it off again. I think that's being sent out as a scout to see what's over here. What a heck of a fight, though. MiG's in again, taking out another plane, I think. And MiG's in from the other side to try and take out those MiGs. Did they get a kill? No, I think they're getting out. Loads of Mostrelki being brought in. More Razvedka. Mostrelki being brought in for Karma. And at this side, mostly supply. Mostly supply. Karma with an aggressive push on again. He's got choppers there. He's got T-80s pushing up. More T-80s. Some T-62s pushing in as well. He wants that command out that corner. And he's got his wish. Command coming in again down here for Selected as well. So he will push back into this point to recap it. Neutralized currently, but still massive advantage to Foxy and Zubos at 1095. Can they maintain that with Karma pushing heavily up here with all these tanks? He's doing a fantastic job. Look at this. 3 tanks all the way up here. No tanks left up here. There's 1 T-80U back there. T-55 here. I mean, that's not going to do too much unless he can get up close and personal. Commander getting shot at in the building there. Wow. Command zone lost down here. Back to +2 for Karma and Selected. All of these units being pushed up around this side. Interesting. There was a lot of fire coming from that Bertino there. I think that's been stopped mid-fire. All of this firing coming in at this lot. Clusters coming in. This could be a beautiful cluster. Oh, and there's the scramble. That's the scatter units button being pressed there. Look at them all scattering all over the place. Wow. Beautifully done. Beautifully done by Selected there. That immense scramble all over the place. Wow. That was beautiful. That was very, very impressive. He saw that coming, perfectly timed. Units scrambling all over the place. Completely nullified the cluster that came in. Obviously, cluster died anyway. 2 then anti-tank jets coming in, both dying. They maybe got a few kills, but look at all of these units that survived from selected that should have been dead. And that's where you get people being set apart. You know, top tier players, lower tier players. Top tier player just saved all of their units from being killed pretty much. Karma in very firm control at this point now though. Poor Foxy being pushed right out, right back. T8U taking a lot of fire from Karma's forces. And selected doing a very heavy push here as well. Foxy and Zubos, what forces they have down here are getting pushed back. But look at the state of that town. Most of the infantry are dead, but infantry being pushed up here by selected. All these units pulling back slightly. Units pushing in from selected there. Don't get me wrong, selected is losing units here. No two ways about it, he is losing units. Lots and lots of ATGM vehicles being brought in at the back there to try and take out some of these vehicles. MiGs coming in to take out one of those jets that was coming in again. Those MiGs coming in to take out... Oh, he's lost one. Oh, he's lost both his MiG-31s. He'll be very upset about that. They've done a good job, though. He will be pleased with their performance. T-80's coming in now. Can selected hold the line? That's all he needs to do, but he's got to hold it for a long time. 18 minutes left. They're currently at +2, and they're still way behind on points. But Karma in good position here, and Karma will not stop. If Karma feels he can push, I'm pretty sure he will just plow through this point. Yeah, here we go. Look at these BMP-2s charging through. Is he charging them up here? I would have thought he would have gone straight through to the next point. Yes, he is. Look at these Mortar-Strike BMPs. Still units in there. They're pushing ahead. He's going to come against the T-80U, which will cause him some problems. But he'll probably just deploy these. But he's just going in. Full assault. He's also bringing forces down now to assist here against Zubos and Foxy with their units in the center. Karma pushing across this entire angle, sort of across here. So he's supporting selected as well. Selected obviously taking a lot of losses there. But equally Zubos very thin on the ground. Loads of tanks coming in here. Karma pushing through into this point now. Good use of attack choppers from Zubos. Very nice use of this T-80 to take out some of these vehicles. These 2 T-80s sat back here. Are they injured? Yes, that one's not even in yet. I can't click on it anyway. T-80BV coming in there though. Another T-80BV there. And a T-80U there coming in shortly as well. It's just waiting for rearm. Selector got himself in a much better position here. Yes, he's lost a lot of units, but he's now in control of this forest. He's pushed most of the forces out of there, and he's pushing here still. Karma still pushing down this way, securing the center as well. Karma now firmly taking out a lot of the units here in firm control. Utilizing his tanks to push here. His other tanks will start pushing this point as well. That T-80U. Another T-80U coming in there. 2 T-80Us. Foxy with the big spend now to try and hold the line. But +2 right now to Karma and selected could be about to swing to at least +4. If not +5 if this point's taken out. What a game so far. Selected's push slowing down now. He's lost his units that were pushing this corner here. He's sort of held up here by all of these vehicles. I don't think he's going to be able to keep pushing as he was. He's lost most of his tanks. Karma in a better position to keep pushing, though more and more reinforcements arriving to defend this point now. T-80BV's down here actually still. It's quite good for selected. Marker on the map. Enemy spotted. That's Karma. Wait, Karma has marked... No, Foxy has marked a Karma unit. He's just selecting the unit rather than the marker. My apologies. How's Protoss doing over in his game? Oh, slightly behind Protoss and Damned from Eugen Damned. Again, as I say, over on their channel, it's Protoss and Eugen Damned versus some other guys. So if you do want to watch one of the devs play, please do join the SDLeague Twitch channel. You're not forced to stay here in any way, shape or form. SU-25, only tank and an SU-25 rocket coming in there. Karma's been putting out quite a lot of jets this game. I think that's where a lot of his early points went before he started calling in all these tanks for the top. They've served him semi-well. SU-25 AT. Nice. Kill on a T-80. He'll be pleased with that. Loads of T-80s pushing in here. Look at all of those T-80s. A lot of tanks here, though. A lot of tanks. He's got quite the wall to push through. Still +2 to Karma and Selected. I mean, this is going to be a heck of a challenge for Foxy and Zubos to push back here. But it's also going to be a challenge for Karma and Selected to get significantly ahead in points, unless Karma can take this point. +2, in 13 minutes, he will certainly probably overtake. I need to calculate it, but I think he'll get to 1095 and above, but I'm not sure what the cutoff is for these tournament games. I don't know if it's 200 or something. But someone has to win, technically, because it's a single elimination tournament. Razvedka heavy there, being pushed up by Karma. Karma desperately trying to get into this point. Is taking a lot of losses in the process. Little bits of artillery being used just to pummel the front of Karma's forces. Even if they don't do much damage, they might get the odd hit where they do a lot of damage. Just got to get a direct hit and they will do damage. They will also upset these tanks if they get a hit on top. T-62 is being used for their missiles here. Loads of KDs. Suchum being brought in as well. Down here. Selected still in control of the forest there, but can't really push anywhere. Got plenty of units here, but this forest is starting to fill up again with units from Zubos. Oh, look at all of these coming in. Loads of Motostrelki BMP3s. That could be an impressive push. They'll pull out a lot of firepower, those BMP3s. Look at it all. They're going to absolutely melt these infantry. Zubos is going to push across. Sorry, Selected is going to push across here into this line of units from Zubos and Foxy. Dog's outside now. Look at the fire here. Wow. Motostrelki here taking a lot of fire though, including from the rocket attack jet. Sorry, the rocket attack chopper. Wow, I'm starting to confuse units and player names. Sapra coming in, Motostrelki coming in, more Motostrelki. Lots of units being called in here. Lots of cheap units. And Selected needing to get a grip on this point and force out Foxy and Zubos. Because those points are ticking up slowly. They will take over, but not by a huge amount. Karma not making a huge amount of headway. I mean, he's got some units in here. So he's now in the point. Oh, command coming in at the back there. Very nicely done. +5. This is purely about getting some points now for Karma and Selected, and that's a good way to do it. Rushing a command, even if it dies, it doesn't matter. You're getting the points. It wouldn't surprise me to see another command coming in, just sitting back, ready to rush in if they need it to. It is actually managing to hide in the forest at the back there, and still be in the point. This will be what pushes Karma and Selected over the edge. This is what will win them the game. This +5. Oh. It's moving. Oh, it's back out again. The Razvedka are going for it. Oh, that's hilarious. I'm loving this. Loving this little fight for that point. Wow. BMP3s and tanks being used to exceptional effect to wipe out most of the infantry that Zubos had down here. And they're about to be used to sweep through this forest as well. So all of this side of the point and all of this side going to be in firm control of Selected. But can he breach this corner and take the command? Possibly. 1 tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks. The only scary things there really are the tanks, possibly the ATGM carriers. Lots of reinforcement being called in down here now though. SPG-9s. Loads of SPG-9 squads. That'll be to... oh! They're not squads, it's the actual UAZ with the SPG-9 on top. Wow. Sapri RPO coming in here. More anti-air. That command was briefly in the point again. 1,269 plus 2 still. I mean, 8 minutes to go. Karma and Selected have won this game. If Foxy and... oh, well, yeah, they've just lost this point as well. So it's about to be plus 7. And Selected is going to push this corner with all of these units. Plus 7, and that has got to be game soon. I mean, I really don't see how Foxy and Zubos can come back from this now. They've lost so much. Really well played to Karma and Selected, but equally really well played to Foxy and Zubos. This was a heck of a game. I genuinely thought they had Karma and Selected for the majority of it, but Karma managed to sweep around the top there, and Selected equally managing to just pile drive through this bottom point in the end. Sometimes you just got to build up your forces and pick your time, and they did a fantastic job of that. Commiserations, Foxy and Zubos. You played a hell of a game, though. An absolute hell of a game. You should be really, really, really pleased with your efforts there. Really pleased. For everyone who is obviously joining me for these games, I'll just remind everybody that over on the SDLeague Twitch, Eugen Damned, or Damned, is over there. I always want to call him Damned because he's got a capital N in the middle. But technically he's Eugen Damned. He's over on the SDLeague channel on Twitch. He's playing a game currently with Protoss, but he'll be helping Protoss cast some games, doing a Q&A, answering questions, some general chit-chat. All of that jazz. So please do head over there at any point you wish. You're not forced to stay with me and see my castings here. And obviously when they get kicked out, they'll be doing castings themselves, so you can see one of the Eugen guys casting a game. That should be really interesting to watch. But this game now, I mean, still plus 4 to Karma and Selected. 6 minutes to go. They're obviously going to win. I really don't see any way that Pua, Zubos and Foxy can come back. Both players throwing everything in here to try and push Karma out at this point. I mean, his CV's gone, but there's another one coming in there. And this is what I thought would happen earlier, to be honest. I kind of expected Karma to have another one ready to go in immediately. But it's one that's being called in a little bit later. But what else can you say about this game? Absolutely fantastic. I'm actually surprised by the turnaround. I genuinely thought Karma and Selected had come very unstuck, and then all of a sudden there was this sudden change at the top from Karma, and I think it's because he spent, as I say, a lot of his early points on aircraft, and then he suddenly started switching to tanks, and once he started pushing out those tanks, he just smashed Echo. And it's like every other game I tend to watch on this map. The majority of people put all their forces in Alpha. And here at the start, Foxy and Zubos both put units into Alpha. Karma 1 or 2 selected the majority of his forces. But Karma had most of his forces at the top. And then a lot of aircraft. But I think Selected did a fantastic job down here to manage to push back against Foxy and Zubos. I mean, you've got to give him credit. BMP3s, absolutely devastating. And there's the game. Commiserations, Foxy. Zubos, you played an amazing game. Karma Selected, what a turnaround. Absolutely fantastic. Kills to losses, I mean, both teams did pretty well. Obviously, Karma and Selected way out ahead, but even so, I mean, what a game, guys. Let's have a quick look at the kills to losses. So we got the MI24V there, doing a good job. The Buratino got quite a few kills. Don't underestimate that thing. It's not too bad. I mean, RT's going to get a rework, but T80U, T80U, T80BV, T80U, it's always the T80s, obviously. T80, T80, BMP2, T80U. Fantastic game. Really enjoyed that. Right, let's exit this and just have a look at the menu and see if there's anything else we can cast at the moment. I can see that Protoss and Damned are still in a game together. They're kind of getting close to finishing. I think actually they're in the last minute of the game. They're actually going to lose poor Protoss and Damned. But they've played a hell of a fight, I think. But yeah, I can just see that they're 47 seconds away from the finish. It might have already finished at Protoss's end, but yeah. It looks like they managed to neutralise over there, but what a shame. That was Thrace TW's game against them. Let's just refresh this and see if any... I don't think any... This is... War Yes Was. War... Hang on. That's only a 2-player game. Why is there a 2-player game? I'm sure War Yes War... Let me just Alt-Tab and check the teams for this, because I'm sure War Yes was in the list. Yeah, War Yes Warrior was Silver Grau and Jane Cerberus. And they were playing against Bandicons, which was Colonel Koenig and Icar. But it says there's only 2 people in the game. Okay, let's just have a quick hop in there. I mean, if Protoss hops in on this as well, we'll let him take over. As I say, if anyone wants to watch, I know that there's people watching over on YouTube as well. And just to let you know that on Twitch, Protoss on the SDLeague Twitch is with Eugen Damned, and they're going to be casting some games now because they've been knocked out of the tournament already. What is going on here? That's Colonel Koenig versus Farid Rommel. Where's the other players? It's supposed to be a 2v2. Sorry, I haven't completely ignored your question. This just popped up there, Brimsmack. So, how do Warno resupply vehicles compare to Wargame? As Wargame have a fob while Warno does not. So, there is possibly intent to add fobs back into Warno. They're still debating about it, but I think the plan is they're eventually going to re-add them in some way, shape or form. So you don't get as much supply. You are completely reliant on supply vehicles. The other thing is you can't turn off certain types of supply. So like in Wargame, you can turn off resupply of ammunition, resupply of fuel, resupply of repair. However, in Warno, you can't do that. It just does everything. So you need a lot of supply vehicles, really. And also the other thing is supply in Warno is instantaneous. So, for example, if you are in a fight and you have a supply truck with you, it will constantly repair and rearm you while you're in a fight. Unlike Wargame, where there is a cooldown period before you can be repaired and rearmed. That needs fixing, in my opinion, as right now you can have like an infantry fight in a forest, and if you're the player with a supply truck there, you have won that fight. Because you're resupplying your forces and repairing them immediately. So it's not even the need to switch in and out your infantry. You can just repair them as they're fighting. So it's, at least it certainly appears that way. So it's a bit weird. I don't understand what's going on with this game though. I'm really confused. I don't understand. Why? All I can assume is that one of the players didn't turn up, and as a result, they're playing a 1v1, or two of the players didn't turn up. I mean, it'll still be a good game, but I don't know quite what happened there. But we'll watch this one anyway. I'm going to speed it up a bit so we can get to... because they'd only just sort of started the game. It could be that only smarties have the answer, you're quite right. I haven't heard that advert in a long time, jeez. Do they still run with that slogan? That takes me back to my childhood. We'll leave this at 2 times for the minute, and then we'll speed it up. We'll just get caught up to them, because we're not that far behind, I don't think. Anyhow, so this game, regardless of what's happened, is Colonel Koenig playing as the Territorial Commando Sud in blue on the right, and on the left we have Farad Rommel playing as the KDA Erfurt. So it's the two new divisions, basically, one versus the other. We can see... oh, that's nice. So over on Protos's Twitch, Eugen Damned is also chatting in the chat. So he's watching the chat as well, guys. So obviously bear in mind that he's not like some boss of the company, so he won't be able to answer everyone's questions and everything you have to ask. But do feel free to head over there. That's alright. I'm always showing my age. So, again, I'm upside down. I always like to be this way on the map. Otherwise, I get confused. Very little up here for Farad Rommel. He's sort of defending Hotel rather than trying to defend this point. And he's already given Colonel Koenig a bit of an advantage there. Whereas, to be fair, in contrast, Farad Rommel's got a lot of units down here, and Colonel Koenig is having to pull back. I've not seen this map really played this way. Most people just all go to Alpha from both teams and then ignore Echo for the most part. So this is a different style of game. I'm kind of surprised that he's defended Hotel rather than trying to get into this forest here. Unless he did and he's just lost a lot. +3 currently to Farad Rommel just because he's got commands here, but now it's neutralised. I feel like this is going to be a weird game. We'll catch up until I get to live. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat for Protoss as well, and also my Discord, because we didn't sort of have an overall plan for this evening. Obviously, this is SDLeague's event, and he's got Eugen over there as well. So I'm directing people there as much as I can, and I'm just trying to cast a few games for the fun of it. And obviously, at some point, we'll just hop over to them anyway. So, Farad Rommel in very solid control of this, and I'm just sort of waiting for it to catch up to them. Anti-tank jet came in there and veered off immediately. Oh, Mirage 2000C coming in. Going over $2, though. That's risky. Oh, that's an expensive loss of that jet for Colonel Koenig. Colonel Koenig, obviously a very experienced SD2 player. Farad Rommel, I believe, exactly the same. But they're trying their hand at some Warno this evening. And we are... I think we are live. Yes, we are. So we will now hide the panel and just see how this goes. Right then. So, Farad Rommel in pretty firm control at this point. A few tanks coming in. His books have done a very good job already for him. He needs to keep them supplied. There is supply there already. Over here, though, Spetsnaz crew sat in this building. I'm assuming that they can't see that and he can't see them. command in there will neutralise the points once more. I'm still baffled as to why Faradrommel just defended Hotel. I mean, at least Colonel Koenig tried to get into Alpha, but Faradrommel just kind of held back here. It could be he's playing, you know, a late game kind of push plan, the same as Karma did, where he'll just build up forces here and eventually push. Obviously, he's opening up to units coming around the top as they are here. There are mobiles moving in that way. And obviously, quite a defensive line can be built up here to help protect this point. Lots of Pioneer Flams coming in there. Some Spetsnaz as well. Colonel Koenig now bringing in units for the bottom, obviously. He's going to have a lot of open ground to cover here. I mean, look at all that open ground there. Even if he gets stuff into these tree lines, he's still got a lot of open ground to cover. He's going to need smoke or something. Or he's going to need a lot of tanks. He is bringing in M48s, but M48s are not great. M48s are not great at all. I see 24 MP coming in there. You know, I realise to myself as I sit here, the game setting on Twitch is set to the wrong thing. It's set to Wargame Red Dragon still, isn't it? It's really annoying. When I set it up in Restream, really frustratingly in Restream, when I set this stuff up, it doesn't like Warno. So I use Restream to stream on both. And when I select Warno, it really doesn't like it, and it always defaults back to Wargame Red Dragon. It's very annoying. Sorry, I'm back to the game now. I just wanted to quickly update that. I can see that Protoss is hopping in a game there. I don't know. Oh, he's having a look at one of the maps. I think he's having a look at one of the maps with Eugen damned. So if you want to go over there and watch them and see them talking about maps and things, please do. Again, you're not beholden to stay here. I'm plugging them as much as possible. I'm doing my duty because it's their event. Colonel Koenig getting himself into a nice-ish position down here with a few units, but I really don't... See, this is a beautiful way to get into a point. Don't attack the front line directly and have everything here firing at you. Come in from the bottom and take on just a couple of units at a time and gradually push up. It's a great way to assault the point, and people don't think about it. People just assault the front line and get everything firing at them. Why do that when you can come in from the side and only deal with a few units at a time? That unit's taken a lot of damage, but look, this is clear now. He's just managing to pick off a few units there. Obviously, plenty of units still in here. I feel like right now, Colonel Koenig is in a better position with the defensive line he's got here because he's right on the edge of Echo. And he can sort of fire into Hotel. Whereas here, Farad isn't all the way to these trees, so he can't really push the aggressive behavior into Bravo and fire across. He's in this position where he's stuck in all of these buildings, especially after losing this forest here. Command in this corner for Colonel Koenig as well. Very well done. Sometimes that's all you need, and you see this is the difference. Colonel Koenig has access to this point. He can get a command in and start taking up points again. There is absolutely no way in hell Faradrommel can do that with Echo, because he's all the way back there. And he's having issues with these infantry just running rings around the forest. MiG-23 AT coming in there. We'll take fire from the Roland too. But there's not a lot of anti-air at that side. Su-24 Seed coming in. Is that Roland turning on and off? It is not. Will the Seed get close enough to fire at it? Another Mirage coming in. Seed is away. Seed missed. Second shot missed as well. The Mirage took a lot of fire though. I tell you what, Farad Rommel's books have served him well. He killed one Mirage Jet, and he almost killed a second there. He'll be disappointed with his Seed Jet not getting the kill, though. What a weird game. See, these two don't obviously play Warno a lot in the tournaments. At least the tournaments that SDLeague run. I know they play, obviously, a lot of the SD2, or the Steel Division 2 tournaments, I believe. So they play a very different game, and a very different style to what we generally see from the Warno players in the tournament. Starting with how they've approached these 2 points. But still, for me, Colonel Koenig has the major advantage here. He's in a much better position. I feel like he's gradually going to be harder and harder to dislodge from this point. I also feel like he's going to be harder and harder to breach up here. AT Jet coming in there. Going for the MX-10. I mean, Farad Rommel's bringing in plenty of units here. He's got some T-34s pushing here. But I'm just thinking, what is he doing? How is he going to get in there? I mean, he could potentially get in this top end. He can circumvent this front line by going around the top here, but there's not a lot of areas to hide a commander up there. They're going to be pretty visible. Whereas, obviously, there's lots of trees for Colonel Koenig down here. Oh. Colonel Koenig's positioning is very good. I said this about Attack Power Gaming earlier in the game I put up on my YouTube, and I think it's something that is slightly different between Wargame players and SD2 players. In Wargame, we rely heavily on smoke, we rely heavily on the cover, the tree lines and stuff. Whereas tank positioning in SD2 is very different. And I've noticed that from SD2 players, is they position their tanks out in the open, which can be very advantageous when they're out in the open, further back, in a good position to get a good shot off. But equally, they're vulnerable, because they're seen, they know where they are, and obviously then they're vulnerable to the anti-tank jets, and they're vulnerable to the cluster bombers. So it's a bit of a balancing act. And we saw that earlier in the game that is up on my channel from Attack Power Gaming and JASP. Attack Power Gaming, fantastic position on a T-80, but JASP got it with a cluster bomber. So it's interesting to see how those two different styles meet. A little bit of progress up here for Farad Rommel. He has certainly cleared this area. Pioneer Flam's kind of sitting back here. I'm not sure what the plan is for them. He's up against Gazelle cannons here, which he has nothing. He really needs to move these Strelas up. He's got a Strela there that could be moved up. He's bringing in his own ghetto gunships now. Interesting choice of unit, I will say that. And down here, a wall of 48s pushing this town. I mean, one thing here is a lack of long-range ATGM troops, obviously. There's no Metis launchers there to destroy these as they come in. So he will take fire, a lot of fire, but if Colonel Koenig gets too close with these tanks, he will start to lose them to short-range RPGs. MiG-23 AT coming in there, followed by a Seed as well, and there's another AT jet there. Roland getting shots off. I don't think that Seed hit anything here again. I don't think it killed the Roland that was there. He'll be very disappointed with the performance of that Seed. I know I am for him. E62's coming in here. Farad Rommel bringing in the bigger tanks. Still +2 to Colonel Koenig, and he is ticking up those points. We're almost halfway through the game, 40-minute game. We're at 22 minutes, 25 seconds left. Good use of air mobiles. You bring them in a lot. They're pretty good units. Admittedly, they're expensive, is the issue. They are expensive. See, this is that tank positioning out in the open. I mean, units in buildings obviously withstand a lot of fire. A lot of fire. Oh dear. Looks like Protoss just lost sound on his stream for some reason. Hopefully he's fixed it again. Again, guys, this tournament is a Friday night special tournament that will be happening once a month, and it is being arranged by SDLeague. It is 2v2 tournament, and over on SDLeague's Twitch, he has Eugen Damned with him tonight, and each month he will hopefully have another Eugen Dev with him. So if you want, you can always head over there and listen to Eugen Damned, chat, answer questions, cast some games with Protoss. Obviously, I'll be casting a few, but eventually we will be, you know, heading over there and joining them anyway. But I'm still very baffled by the fact there's only 2 players in this game. I'll have to inquire afterwards. T-62s pushing up the side here. The problem is they're in a bad position. They're getting shot at by Milan 2s there and by these tanks here. Colonel Koenig has managed to make progress here with all of his tanks in a good position. He's moving up with his infantry as well. This game is Colonel Koenig's for the taking, I'm afraid. I really don't see, unless Farad Rommel can push this point quite hard now. He still doesn't have any AA up there. He is bringing some in though, look. Just at the back there. Anti-air guns. AT jet coming in. He's making good use of his jets, Farad Rommel. I'll give him that. What's he using it against there? Oh, he's using it against the Puma. It will get the kill. Wow, those T-62s have made it up there. I'm genuinely surprised. This Milan is out of missiles. Not enough Milan missiles. Big issue. Need lots of supply for that. Oh, he's lost one to the Jaeger. Jaeger Panzerfaust will do a lot of damage to these T-62s. But this point is now in firm control of Colonel Koenig. Farad Rommel is out of there. Farad needs to take the top. He has to take Echo now, or the game is over. Because there's a lot of blue in this point. It's going to be hard to push back in there, especially if Colonel Koenig pushes up right to this edge. If he secures this forest and the buildings at this edge, he's got that point. It's going to be hard to push back in. Farad is pushing the top though. He is clearing this forest. HE Bomber came in for him though. Gazelle Hot is coming in as well, but that's anti-tank, so it's not going to do much against these infantry. Roland 2 taken out by the Spetsnaz. Colonel Koenig obviously spent all of his points on bringing forces in down here. Ooh, M48s up close and personal will do a lot of damage if they can get a hit. Did get a hit, look at that. One of them did get a hit, but T-62 is obviously better. Gazelle cannon around the back there. Was that going for a kill on a command? Very possibly. But Farad has Estrella protecting. Good man. That's what I like to see. People protecting their CVs around the back. You don't always see that from people. Even the war game players and the Warno regular league players don't do that often enough for my liking. If you don't try and defend your CVs, you're asking for them to be destroyed. Farad putting up a hell of a fight here, but Colonel Koenig just in a better position in general. Good positioning with his vehicles. I think Farad became very unstuck by kind of stopping at Hotel. He pushed everything into Alpha and stopped what little he had here at Hotel rather than pushing into Echo, I think, at the start. And that really made it difficult for him because obviously then Colonel Koenig can push right to this edge and then it's a heavier fight for Farad to push back in here. It gives more time for Colonel Koenig to bring in reinforcements, and there's a lot of open ground in this point. It's not like down here where you can go from tree line to town to tree line. This is just mostly open ground, so pushing through that is more of a challenge, especially if you're on the back foot. Infantry command coming in, but it's going to be obvious where it comes in. There's nowhere to really hide it unless you get it in this forest. And even then now, lots of reinforcements coming in there for Colonel Koenig. Still +4. You put up a hell of a fight though, Farad. A hell of a fight. Yeah, Milan took that out. He needs to be careful where this command goes, because if it goes here, that Milan's going to pop it. 16 minutes to go. It's going to be over before that in terms of points. It's still going down the road. Has he realised? It's still going down the road. That has missiles left. This is how the game ends. Oh, he's got them out in time. Oh, so lucky. Genuinely thought he wasn't going to realise and they were going to get popped there. He's keeping me on the edge of my seat. That's what he's doing. That's what Farad's plan is. Just keep me right on the edge of my seat. Colonel Koenig pushing out. Very nice. Loads of tanks here. Taking out these Jaeger. Obviously Farad wants control of this tree line. But units moving out here for Colonel Koenig. I'm impressed he's still pushing. I thought he'd just make a big defensive line back here. But, you know, if you can take this tree line as well, it's worth it. Keeps Farad at evil. Oh, and there's a surrender, I think. Yeah. Surrender from Farad, but okay. 1,400-ish points difference, but really, really good game, guys. Really enjoyed that. You both played so well. I don't know what happened and why it was a 1v1 instead of a 2v2, but you did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed that. Definitely kept me on the edge of my seat for a lot of that. Obviously, it was pretty obvious who was going to win by about halfway through, but there were still some exciting bits in that game. Let's have a quick look at the kills and losses. I always like to have a little look. AMX-10 got a lot of kills, including a lot of tank kills. Wow. Gazelle Hot 2 did pretty well in the aeromobiles. AMX-10 again. Look at all the kills. M48 with a few kills. AMX-10, Milan 2. I'm surprised by the amount of kills the AMX-10's got. French op units, because Eugen's French, that's what it is. Obviously, completely overpowered. I don't mean that seriously, just for the record, before anyone goes running to Mad Matt and says, Bandana says all your units are overpowered. At the other side, the MiGs did quite a good job. T-62's getting a few kills, but nothing too stand out there, I'm afraid, for Farad. But really good game, guys. Really enjoyed that. I know you're probably overwatching Protoss, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. Really good game. Right, let's head back. Let's see what else is happening. So I can see that a game is being watched by Protoss and Eugen Damned. So they are watching... let's have a look. I've got the list up here. So they are watching War Yes Warriors versus Pact Suffers. And the other game that is running is Shrekus versus the Schwierlhoner. I'm pronouncing that wrong, but never mind. Who are those players? Let's see. So it's Thrace and De Groen Truffel versus Karma and Selected. And the other game that is being cast over on the SDLeague channel with Protoss and Eugen Damned is Hippie and Erland versus Silver Grau and Jane Cerberus. But yeah, I still don't know what happened with Colonel Koenig. That's very strange. Ah, so interesting. Although those two played a game, War Yes and Bandicons actually was 0-0. So the game we watched, while it was a very good game, I think they just played for fun in the end because people didn't turn up and they gave the win to War Yes. Oh well, it was a nice game to watch anyway. So War Yes Warriors then, who one of them we just watched in a game, are playing against Pact Suffers. And I guess we will hop in on the Karma game, which will be this one here. Oops, I want to spectate, not join it. Trying to double click. Okay. So this is Thrace and Viscard, which obviously their names here are different to what's on the list. Let's not go there, because people can change their names in game. So this is Thrace and Viscard against Karma and Selected. Let me rotate us around this way, I think. So we have Karma and Selected on the right hand side, playing as the 79th for Karma and the 39th for Selected once more. And on the other side we have Thrace playing as the 8th Infantry Division and Viscard playing as the 2nd Panzer Grenadiers. Two very good teams and 4 very good divisions, I would say. The 79th obviously coming into their own a lot in the latest patches. But we will watch this one, and after this one we will merge, shall we say, or we will all go and join Protoss' stream and see what's happening over there. Again, for anyone on YouTube, Protoss obviously can't stream on both YouTube and Twitch, as he is a Twitch affiliate, and that means Twitch won't allow it. So he is only allowed to stream on Twitch. So I know you might not like Twitch, but if you'd like to, just for today, head over there and watch the SDLeague stream for Warno. Eugen Damned is there. Really nice guy. One of the devs. And he's helping Protoss cast. They're doing some question and answer sessions and general chit chat. Obviously, he won't be able to answer all questions, but I do recommend, obviously, please do head over there at your leisure, as it is always worth having a listen to Eugen Damned. He's a really nice guy. I'm just going to speed this up a bit so we get past the deployment phase. They're obviously a wee bit ahead of us. They've been playing for a little while. Lots of units down for Selected. Karma, I assume, is going to go up the top here and head towards Delta. And due to the fact Selected has made a mark here, he's probably going to go for Charlie and the forest area. Obviously, Viscard has forward deployable troops, so he'll be getting into this forest earlier. Lots of FS Jaeger going down there, and Thrace is obviously planning to head over here. He's got plenty of aero rifles down in Blackhawks, along with various other troops here. He's going to push around to Foxtrot and then towards the centre with those, I assume. And a few units he's got here which will be heading towards the centre straight away. Honestly, you could probably minimally defend the top here, because there's not, you know, the map is obviously shrunk down considerably for this 2v2 version of the map, or even 1v1 as the case may be. You could play this 1v1. Obviously the map is designed to be played by 4v4s and things like that, I think, originally. Little message there from Viscard saying, hey Eugen, we need a fob. I'm not sure Eugen Damned will be watching this, but I think they're aware that people want fobs, so we may be getting them eventually. I'll leave this at 2 times so we catch up to where they are. I don't think we'll see anything too exciting or we'll miss anything too much at 2 times. Chopper being used to good effect to take out those aero rifles there. Obviously, aero rifles still have a chance of dropping on the ground, but the Mi-24 absolutely wrecking them. SG-27S also being used to take out one of those choppers, cutting off the early advantage to Thrace there. Obviously, big advantage here with all these FS Jaeger moving in. Selected dropping off his units back here. All he needs to do is try and hold this point for the moment, even if he can't push through to Echo, while Karma needs to sort of secure this point here. Karma bringing in a lot of units, Iglas as well. Obviously, both teams utilizing aircraft straight away. Thrace kind of bringing everything down here. Razvedka pushing up there for Karma. Sneaky like, getting around the back. Ah. Now, could they make the mistake of bringing in a command there and not defending it at all? Because Karma will kill that. Karma will kill it if he gets a chance. SU-27 still in there. We'll need to go out and refuel soon, though. Big infantry fight down here. I'm afraid it's in a forest, so you're not going to be able to see what's going on. But let's be honest. Selected is winning this fight because he has RPOs. He has the flame launchers. Against FS Jaeger, he's already won this fight. Not to mention, he's got vehicles in there. What he does need is resupply urgently. There we go. Resupply coming in, I assume, for him. Bit more of a tight fight at the top here between Karma and Thrace. Going back to the chat. FOBs are a bit of a challenge, and yeah, reloading supply vehicles off map or something like that is another option. I'm not sure what the plan is. And yes, the RT FOB mess in Warno is not always fun. There are reasons to have them and there are reasons not to have them. I don't know how difficult it will be for them to do something like let the units leave the map and then come back with supply. I don't know. I know what you're getting at, though. It's a question mark in my mind how they're going to handle it. But I think they have talked about FOBs in some form. But, you know, that could mean them going off the map and coming back. I don't know. But yes, there's an argument on both sides about FOBs. Definitely. And the other thing is with FOBs, if you don't have a main base anymore... Oh, we are caught up to them now. Oops. There we go. So we hide that. And fight ongoing here. Lots of reinforcements arriving. Now, supply is coming, but the Sapri RPO are out of their launches. Oh, beautiful. Tornado IDS MW1. It got killed, but look at that beautiful strike. Wiped out so many of Selected's infantry. He'll be upset with that. Look at all the supply coming in now. Too little too late, I'm afraid. The MW1 came in and did its job. No supply is going to save you from an MW1. Yeah, I agree. I think that's a nice option. The FOB system isn't a bad system in some respects, but in some respects it also is a bad system. So, yeah, I have strongly mixed feelings about it. I can take it or leave it. I come from Wargame, so obviously I like my FOBs there. But if there's another option that they can provide, so be it. I do think there needs to be an option, though, because I don't think there's enough supply in the game at the moment. But equally, I also don't think units should be able to resupply when they're getting damaged. I think there should still be a cooldown like there is in Wargame before they can be resupplied and rearmed. You know, if you're under stress, you're fighting, you're panicked, you can't be rearmed. So, it's a challenge to get it right, I know that. And it's all stuff that will be fixed before launch. The game is getting better and better with each patch. Huge infantry fight here. I will zoom all the way in, guys. Isn't that exciting? You can see the trees. Oh. That's the only problem with most of the maps is a lot of trees. You can't really zoom in and make it very cinematic, I'm afraid. I don't know about front lines. I have mixed feelings about front lines. I know it works in SD2 and SD1, which I never played, but in a modern warfighting arena where there's a lot more mobility with, you know, troops in choppers and things like that can be swung around behind enemy lines, I don't think a front line effect's quite as effective. I don't know. That could be my war game bias, though. So Karma making slow progress up here. Thrace getting pushed back. I mean, Karma is top of the ladder. He's an amazing player. I just always imagine that any game he gets into, he's just going to destroy his opponent. But he is beatable. People do beat him. Well, our tanks come with tea. That's a real thing, by the way. Our Challenger tanks actually have a tea made in them, so they can make tea. That is not a joke. Google it. It's true. The tanks actually have tea making capabilities inside. No, I think Wargame needs to adapt to the modern era, and that is that things need to change, and that is Warno, I suppose. We can't have it exactly as it was. There's got to be a balance. I agree with that. I have nothing against... I joke on about my hate of SD2. It's a joke. I play the game from time to time. I don't hate it. There are things I dislike about SD2, and there are things I dislike about Wargame. And somewhere in the middle, there is a good game. Somewhere in the middle. SC-25 AT coming in there, getting some shots over the Martyrs. Instantly, that's the other thing which annoys me about Warno, is the instant snap of the fingers switch of targets for planes. It really drives me mad. I don't believe that they could retarget instantaneously with a split second and fire another missile at another unit that they weren't targeting a second ago. It's too fast. It doesn't happen in Wargame, and I prefer the way jets fly in Wargame. That is definite. Karma making very good progress in complete control here. Obviously only +1 in the grand scheme of things, as, look at this, Thrace managing to get a command in here, along with this guard. Obviously defensive posture to some extent here. Thrace having a difficult time of it. Cobra back here sort of defending this point. Those Razvedka aren't going to get that kill, and I'm sure they'd like to get. Little Iglas there protecting that RDM2, possibly from that Cobra. Maybe that's what Thrace were thinking. He could get a Cobra around the back to kill that CV, and maybe that's Karma's response to that, spotting it with a Razvedka. Question mark, question mark. There's time for adjusting the plane's targeting, in my opinion, by the time the game is released, I'm sure. Oh, Motostrelki here being pushed up by Selected to try and kill the CV. I mean, that is his primary target here, but lots of units pushing up to kill the Motostrelki. I expect Karma is Karma streaming tonight as well? I haven't looked. Karma might be streaming this game. For anyone who speaks Russian, I believe Karma streams in Russian. I do not, so I'm afraid I can't help there. But let me just have a quick look. I'll just alt-tab quickly, so I apologise. I'll just have a quick look at Warno and see if Karma... no, Karma isn't streaming, so it's just me and Protoss. I thought Karma might be up, so apologies, anyone who speaks Russian. Karma isn't currently streaming. I'm sure he will look back at his games, though. The Harrier is a bit of a mess in this game at the moment, yes. Again, there's room for all of this to be reworked over time. This is quite interesting now. So, command has managed to be put back in here. Karma is going to kill that command anyway. Those Radvedka have all their weapons off, so I don't think the Cobra has seen them. MiG-31's in there to take out that cluster. But look at all of these units pushing through here in Charlie. Now, the only thing is, I think Selected managed to kill that CV in that corner, which I'm quite surprised by. Karma Selected, obviously, with an advantage in points. However, I think currently +3 to Karma and Selected for controlling the center again. But they'll be stuck at +1 when this point is taken again by Viscard, because he does have that command coming in. There's a lot of units here from Selected, and some from Karma as well now. Selected's getting reinforcements, but look at all these forces here pushing through this point. They're going for that command. They want a piece of it. There's the command in there. There's a neutralization. Currently +1. But if Thrace and Viscard can kill that command, it'll swing in their favour. Because they'll have 6, so they'll be +1 compared to the 5 that Karma and Selected have. But it's going to be a challenge because there's a lot of BMP3s and tanks there. Marcel. That's an interesting question. I think that overall there will be better mod support in the grand scheme of things. I'm still hopeful that post-launch we will get a map editor so we can actually make our own maps for the game. What that map editor will come as in what form it will take, I'm not sure. But there will definitely be better mod support overall, and they will gradually release more mod tools. But do bear in mind that this game isn't released yet. Officially, it's still in early access, and I think some of those tools will not be released till after early access, and certainly probably post-game launch when they have more time to work on them. Obviously, it's a smaller team these days, Eugen, and they have to spend a lot of their time working on the game and trying to balance it and adding the new units and things. So it's a tough job for them, and, you know, they are running a little bit behind, and I kind of expected that. I expected things to run behind. It's, you know, they're like half the size or less than they were when they were making Wargame Red Dragon. So times have changed. But they're doing a good job. They're listening to the feedback. They do pay attention to, you know, the community. They do watch the streams. They do watch the videos. They do look at chat. So, you know, there is a lot of demand for that mod support, and I think it will come. I definitely think it'll come. So it's going to be a lot better than it was for the previous games. How difficult it's going to be to do the mods, I don't know. I've never tried to mod their games. I know Gensi has. I know Gensi does a realism mod for SD2. And I've already badgered him to make mods for Warno, so we'll see. Push here from Karma and Selected back into this point. They're still +1. 23 minutes to go. They will win on points. Karma pushed right out here in complete control of this island. He did lose his little scout team that was up here, though. Abrams must have killed it. Is that T-80 firing at the choppers? It is. It didn't look close enough to be hit by its machine guns. I'm very confused. That was weird. Karma and Selected's little push here hasn't made much progress, has it? I think they've taken a lot of damage. They've lost a lot of units. Thrace and Viscard holding them off, but the problem is that unless they can push this point and kill the CV, it's still going to be a win for Karma and Selected. But yeah, Catalan, I think that Eugen are doing a good job. I think they get a lot of stick, and, you know, the community can be overly passionate sometimes. But I think they're doing a really good job. I mean, come on. I can't fault them. Last week, in response to my devblog video and the fact that I was complaining about them possibly leaving British territorial troops, or the reserves as they're called now, as militia or untrained, Mad Matt responded to that video on his holiday. There's not many dev teams that will bother to do that. It just goes to show how passionate they are about the game themselves. Someone who is on their holiday comes and watches my video and answers the question. And I mean, Eugen Damned, who is over on Protoss' stream on Twitch, or the SDLeague stream on Twitch, really nice guy, very nice, pops along to my stream sometimes and says hello, how are things going, really keen to play the game in his spare time. So this is someone who not just enjoys playing the game at work, he enjoys playing it at home as well. He's someone who joined Eugen after being a player of Wargames, so, you know, these people who work there now are often fans of the game. So they have their own feelings and passion. No, I agree. And I always say to people when it comes to Warno, this is early access in its truest form. It's not, you know, Electronic Arts or one of the other big studios, big publishers, pretending their game is early access because they want to just release it into beta. This is proper early access. They're still heavily developing the game, listening to feedback, adjusting balance. I mean, next thing to come is the artillery rework, which is needed, because artillery is pretty crap, to put it bluntly. Karma still remains in control of this. I mean, you can see what I'm seeing on my screen, to be honest. They're not going to make any headway on that point. Down here, the command is out, though. Look at that, selected, pushed back. Karma and selected joint forces destroyed. Vizcard and... this is mostly Vizcard's forces now that are surviving here. Thrace is bringing in units to support, though. I mean, Thrace isn't getting in this island anymore. They need to hold on to both these points. Really need to hold. But you know what's going to happen here? Karma is going to push down into Echo. All these units here, they're going to push down into Echo. They're going to kill that CV and block off any reinforcements getting to Charlie. And then Selected can push back into Charlie and take it over. This is a... it was obvious what's going to happen. If Karma can control all of this and all the bridges, he's going to push here. Look, reinforcements already being called in there. They know what's coming. They know that Karma is pushing across. Can they get there in time? Mortars being used to try and cut off that route. It's not going to help. It's not going to help. Karma will get across there. He will get into here. Can Thrace and Vizcard put enough units in here to stop him? It's going to be a race to these buildings. Command's being pulled back already. Units being pushed up here to help defend this point. +1 currently to Thrace and Vizcard. 19 minutes left to go. At +1, I'm not sure they can reach Karma and Selected's points. So I'm not sure they can win anyway. But they can certainly make it a hell of a slog for Karma and Selected. Karma managed to get some units in these buildings, but he's going to be heavily outnumbered. Look at all the tanks coming in. Look at all these Leo 1A1A1s. And that'll do. That's all he needs. He can kill everything that's here. So he stopped Karma's little push. But that won't be the last push. Karma might attempt to go across into Foxtrot next. I do see that there's reinforcements being brought in there, though. Very sensible from Thrace. Karma and Selected way ahead still. Way ahead. Strelky coming in. A little bit of push going in here for Selected. He wants to get a command back in here. If he can get a command back in, it'll be back to +1 for them. Where is the command? It's back there. I think that was the original one. I don't think it died. I think he just pulled it out in time. Thrace putting down an attack beacon. Oh, this should be good. This is lots of tanks in close proximity to the Motor Strelky. They're in range of the rockets. The RPGs can hit them. MW1. MW1 getting a few kills, but not as many as last time. Selected might have this here. He's slaughtering the tanks. It's all about the fact that he's up close and personal. Very nice. Very, very nice. Come on, Selected. I'm not particularly rooting for either team here, but I'm just really impressed by that maneuver and how those tanks were just way too close. BMP3 is doing a lot of damage as well. Not to be underestimated. They have a tank gun. Tank gun there. It's not heat. It is technically a kinetic round, so the closer it gets to the target, the more damage it does. Don't underestimate a BMP. Can still do damage to heavily armored tanks. Karma's not really making any move here now. I think he's just settled into a defensive posture and wants to take this point. Here's Karma coming in at the bottom. We'll swing round. Loads of reinforcements coming in for both players. Selected did a really good job. Killed a lot of tanks, but there's a lot of 1A1A1s coming in. And Selected's lost most of his forces now. Karma pushing in around here with some big tanks, though. We'll make short work of these infantry. He is pulling back his tanks, though. He knows they're within range of the launch, potentially. Dead squad of infantry. Leo 1A1A1s in a bad position. Going up against T-80Us, they're going to get squished. 1A1A1s only 2,120 meter range versus these guys with the 2,295 meter range. So, yeah. Unpleasant for the Leos there. T-80Us obviously much better at this job. More infantry in. Plenty of Milans here, but the Milans aren't going to be able to hit those tanks from there. They don't have a line of sight in any way, shape or form. Karma will make a bit of progress here, definitely. Equally Selected bringing in more reinforcements up here. That command still lingering around the back. They really need to get it in this point. And 15 minutes left to go. They've already won. I mean, Viscard and Thrace would have to do something pretty impressive to pull this back now. Like, really impressive. Sorry, guys. You've put up a hell of a fight. I'm really impressed you managed to push through this point. And are still holding. But, yeah. I think that was the MW1 dying there, so that'll be both of those that have been called in and died. Osas there need rearming. Iglas also need oh, there's a couple of missiles left. Command is in here now, supported by Karma. And his T-80Us, lots of reinforcements coming in down at this edge now. Maybe that was an option that Selected missed earlier on, is bringing stuff in this side where there wasn't as much of a tree line running right up to the edge of the point. But Karma's seen his opportunity and he is in. Back to +1 for Karma and Selected. I mean, they've won this game. There's absolutely no feasible way I can see the other guys winning, as I say. It is what it is. It's a for fun tournament, let's be honest. But really good game again. There's, you know, I will say that tonight. For fun or otherwise, there have been some really, really enjoyable games. Really enjoyable games. I quite enjoyed the 1v1 between Colonel Koenig and Farad Rommel. Even if it technically wasn't officially part of the tournament per se, that was a really enjoyable game between those two. Interesting to see the SD2 players take on Warno and how they approached it. Karma pushing down from the top here. He's surrounding this completely. I heard a ping. I heard a ping. Thank you very much for following, Nico BDX. Much appreciated. Karma multi-pronged attack. I would expect nothing less. He's bringing all his forces down from the top to squeeze there. He's bringing forces in from the bottom. Along with Selected now. He's kept his... Oh. He's lost a tank, I think, and the other one is heavily damaged. But these forces pushing down here are going to take this lot out. He will kill this. He will be back to +3. 12 minutes to go. I assume these guys aren't going to surrender. They're going to let it go to a points victory. BMP3s again. Slaughtering infantry left, right and centre. You've got to love them. Plenty of AA in there as well, scaring off those SU-25s. And the SU-25s can take a few shots. Seed coming in. Have they turned off the Eyehawks? The Seeds will kill the Eyehawks. Good shot. Kill. Oh, launched both missiles at one. It got the kill on the first shot. Unfortunately, didn't get a shot off at the other Eyehawk. Sapri RPO coming in here. Machine gun squads. Lots of machine gun squads from... You know what that is from Selected? That's Selected running out of infantry to call in. He's now calling in all his infantry like that's left over, which is going to be the machine gun squads. But they're all in BMP3s. He has so many BMP3s in his deck, and that's probably more important than the machine gun squads. Ah, there's the surrender. Commiserations, Thrace and Vizcard, you put up a hell of a fight. Kills to losses weren't that different considering you were playing against Karma, and Karma is obscenely good. I mean, he's number one on everything. Would you expect anything less? Really enjoyable game again, guys. Really well pushed by Thrace and Vizcard at the bottom, but Karma just obviously thrashing in the middle and just taking control of it all. Let's have a look at the kills to losses. I always like to have a look. Jaeger Aufkul there, Mech Rifles, the Pivads, Cobra Jaeger Aufkul, M60 there, doing a really good job. The M1 Abrams doing a really good job. And on the other side, T80BV, no surprise there. Motostrelki getting quite a few kills. T80, Motostrelki, the MI did okay. T62s, BMP2 did a good job. BMP3s didn't get as many kills as I expected. They seem to be doing a lot of damage at the end there, but maybe not. Well, guys, okay, so that game is over. That means there is one game left. I will not be casting it. The last game will obviously be all Protoss' show and Eugen Damned over on the SDLeague channel. So, for those of you who have been hanging with me on YouTube, I'm afraid I cannot drag you over there myself. You will have to find your own way to the Twitch. I will post the link for you though, because I'm nice like that. So let me grab that link.
I had started meditating at the beginning of medical school.
Apologies, that's a random advert popping up as I grab the link. Let me pop that into the chat on YouTube. I've just been spammed by a bunch of spam. Lovely. Let me just report that. How annoying. Yes, I have reported you. So, for everyone who has joined me on YouTube, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope it has been entertaining, taking a look at these games. You are most welcome, Nano and Daniel. But, guys, please do head over to that link. Twitch TV, SDLeague. The stream continues over there with Protoss and Eugen Damned. I know not everyone is a fan of Twitch, but that is where the action is going to happen. So please, head over there. Shoo! Because I'll be shutting this stream down. But thank you for joining me anyway. I might do some streaming over the weekend of the Hunt Showdown. So if anyone's interested in that, you're more than welcome to pop back for that. But obviously, go say Eugen Damned. For the Twitch people, for the very few people that are watching me on Twitch at the moment, most people are in with Protoss. We are going to hop over there to Protoss. So I am going to drag you across. We are going to raid with our few viewers. But then he knows we're there, okay? That's why. But thank you again, everyone who's joined me. Please do hop over We're ready to raid. That's what we're going to do. We are raiding. Let's go. Thank you everyone who's tuned in, and I will see you all later.